Hello everybody, welcome back.
Hello dear viewers, and welcome back to another glorious session with your host Kunagusis and his sidekick Icarix.
Okay, so we are progressing through the campaign. We had that UI glitch earlier, so I clearly reloaded the game to, well, not have that UI glitch. And I am moving my dignitary around. I think I'm trying to stick on a harmosia of Mario through use of Timbe's Trade Regions mod. Pretty nifty mod.
UI glitches are unacceptable. I'll just say that outright. Unbleeding acceptable.
UI glitches?
Yes.
It's annoying, but it's kind of my fault to some extent.
It takes me right out of the experience. Gotta tell you that much.
Whatever. So we are moving our army towards Armenia.
Oh goody.
This is an unresolvable affair. I think these are the stragglers of the two enemy armies we fought in the last part. So yeah, and enslave captives.
Oh, I don't fancy their odds now.
Okay, yeah, so
At this stage, I wouldn't be surprised if they're part of an upcoming slave revolt, for all I know.
I keep doing this shit. So yeah, we have trespassed.
Well, I'm gonna go, sis. You gotta work on that balancing act.
I know that. It's been how long since I played this?
Oh, hope you get better on future sessions.
Oh yeah. I'll have to keep that in mind whenever I get around to it in a future session.
Perhaps, and I ask
Rogues want non-aggression again, and I keep declining.
You could let us.
No thanks, we're good.
Yes.
I see. Gonna hopefully go for diplomacy.
Yeah. Or somewhat non-aggression,
No.
and I decline.
Won't someone please think of diplomacy? Oh, and I see we got some pirates spotted on the shore.
Yeah, so my champion has leveled up. So I'm just giving him his skills.
What's a partisan skill, actually?
Partisan skill?
Yeah.
What do you mean by partisan skill?
Like it's in a list of skills, there's partisan. I don't know what it does.
I don't know, I didn't even catch that.
Oh, okay, never mind
When
then.
it comes to the champions, the main skills that matter, and I don't even know what they're called, I just do these particular skills, would be the one that increases the experience gained by your general every turn, and another one that gives experience for your army.
They were off against the raging chimeras.
Yes, Mosikinoi. Mosinoikoi, something like that they're called, is the faction.
Ah.
So yeah, we have our standard army formation here, Peltas on the flanks, Slingers in the middle for our ranged corps. Behind them is our melee infantry. Mixture of the Galatians and Thrail swordsmen for the most part. So yeah.
Decent formation and line up there.
Yes, we have our Galatian spears guarding the flanks.
Let me guess. Those elephants, they're Indian elephants,
Yes.
are they? Yes.
Galatians and Thrail spearmen.
Christ, I got the elephants right this time.
Yes.
I'm not completely hopeless.
Yes, we have our Tarantine cavalry there. Our Hippes. There's our Indian elephants.
Who are we facing against?
The factions whose name I just tried to say.
The raging chimeras.
That's the name of the army. That's our Gatto Thracian Tereos cavalry. And our bodyguard cavalry. And we have our scythe chariots.
Powerful mofos.
No, they are pretty good if utilized well.
Is there a specific strategy for using them? Like a preferred one?
Keep them moving. Just keep them moving.
Ah, I suppose.
That reduces their own casualties and increases the casualties they can inflict. Yes, Scythe Chariots are quite interesting. Been meaning to try and read the articles on their origins again. It's been a while. There were 2 articles that had different ideas about where they came from. And then one is by Alexander Nefyodkin, where he suggests that they were developed by the Achaemenid in the later stages of the Achaemenid Persian dynasty as a means of countering the Greeks in their heavy formations. And the other one was by Geoffrey Rupp in response to Nefyodkin, arguing that no, they probably have Neo-Assyrian origins, so they're older, and that among other factors, one thing is that I know he did try to counter the point about being used to take on the hoplite phalanx, was that, well, horses don't really like to charge into a big group of men with spears, so it'd be weird to have the chariot be for that purpose. It's been a while since I read the articles, but I know that Nefedkin wrote a response to Rob, but I haven't read it yet. So I wanted to reread the original 2 articles, but I just never got around to it.
It might be an interesting read.
Oh, it would be. It definitely would be an interesting read. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Where do you think you might find them?
I have them saved.
Oh, you have them saved, you just haven't gone around to reading them yet.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
Where do they sell these articles, actually?
I just
I'm
found them
kinda curious.
online. I think they were on JSTOR and maybe
Well,
also...
JSTOR actually allows you to buy some of these.
Well, no, I downloaded these
Oh, because you have an account, I assume.
well, before I finished college.
Oh, but I mean, like...
I went through JSTOR and downloaded as many papers of interest as possible.
I thought you had to have a JSTOR account in order to download them.
Through the university library.
Ah, right.
I
Yeah,
had
that
access to JSTOR until I finished.
That makes sense.
So, yeah.
Oh, here they are, at each other's throats.
Yep. But, yeah, so the Seleucids adopted the Scythe chariot.
Yeah, you mentioned that, actually.
Yeah, that's why it's part of the Seleucid roster. Although I think their efficacy is a bit dubious.
Why?
Well, they certainly worked. You could argue that they worked well as a weapon to scare the bejesus out of somebody, but as an actually useful weapon to inflict casualties in a battlefield, it just seemed a bit of a spotty track record.
But they were useful, weren't they?
That's precisely the thing. Were they useful? Hard to say. As a terror weapon, sure, probably. As an actual weapon of war, iffy, maybe.
I mean, like, they had huge spikes on each end of their wheels,
Yes,
and if
but-
you were to, like...
In theory, that sounds like it's a very useful weapon, but has it actually been useful? A lot of the battle, it didn't seem to have a huge impact. A lot of the battles it was useful, so far as we know.
I mean, like, I assume they wouldn't just rely on the wheels themselves, you know, there'd be people mounting them. Maybe they have, like, spears that they could throw as well, or
Well, it
javelins.
seems like there was only just one rider. Only just one person on the chariot.
No, but what I
Charioteer.
mean is... No, but what I mean is, like, one hand could be steering and the other hand could use to
No,
aim their...
they probably mean both hands in harness. Well, maybe they could have thrown javelins. I know in the game they throw javelins, but the thing is that the chariot itself was the weapon. Was the idea. But it's a bit unclear if it was actually effective. I think the Battle of Cunaxa, which is one of the earliest accounts of the Scythe chariot being used, one of the earliest accounts of it, it's by Xenophon in his Anabasis. And Xenophon was at the Battle of Cunaxa, he fought in the battle.
Like, I
It
don't
didn't
really
seem
see
to
any
be it didn't seem to do much damage to the Greeks. They were able to dodge it.
I mean, like, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be able to use the chariot and also the people wielding them to throw spears or javelins or anything. Because if you take a look at, like, the riders who mount their elephants, like, they didn't just rely on the elephants as a terror weapon and an efficient weapon.
But the thing is, though, the elephant's a big beast where you can put a tower on it and have somebody on it throw javelins or pluck enemies with a big spear or fire arrows. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
On
I'm
an
not
elephant,
debating.
that works out. On the scythe chariot, maybe you could have had that, but there's a bit of a difference between a chariot pulled by 4 horses and an elephant. Elephants are big creatures that can do a lot of damage, certainly. But a chariot...
And I know, like, they also require the manpower to steer them in the right direction. But my point is, like, they were able to do both. They were able to do both at the same time. They were able to steer these powerful weapons, such as elephants, for example, while also being able to deal damage from up above on their towers. So my reasoning is, I don't really see how they wouldn't have been able to do the same for chariots as well. I mean, like, they probably had to do a shitload of training to accomplish that.
Well,
but I mean, like,
the thing is that it's just, as far as the evidence can tell, it did not seem to have a huge impact on the battlefield, it seems. I know, I believe Basil of Arcochta was saying that they were basically useless. It's been a while since I've read up on it. And I might at least try to revisit some of my sources about it just to see as I could maybe a little bit Duplessis and Arcochta. So you might try to read up a little bit, get some idea, and see any specific arguments, maybe write it in a comment or something later. But suffice to say is that from what I recall reading, they were not thought to be... It's debated if they were particularly useful, the Scythe chariots. In theory, there's all about theory, but there's actual evidence and use of practice.
but are there any arguments to say, like you just say yourself, it's been a debate, so if there have been any debates that argues that, yeah, they were useful?
Well, I don't know. As far as I understand, it's probably something debate. I need to read. It's been a while since I read up on the Scythe chariots, so I don't remember a lot of it on the top of my head. I didn't do too deep of a study on it because I didn't need to do too deep of a study.
Understandable, yeah.
Like I did research a bit of it when I was doing my thesis, but
But not enough for like a concrete,
really,
analysis.
It wasn't actually relevant to the thesis, so I didn't do too much into it.
Like I said, not enough for like a concrete analysis that was necessary or
Yeah,
anything.
I'm also going by my spotty memory of it, so there's that also. Anyways, the battle has gone well. We are routing the enemy forces. But yeah, we are chasing them down. Cavalry and elephants are, especially.
Is that our Thoreau-Poroi?
Yes.
Did I pronounce that right this time?
The rail Boroi, yeah.
I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
We have our Indian elephants and Thoreau-Poroi leading the charge there in the rounding phase.
The Gallo-Thracian rail Boroi.
Gallo-Thracian Thoreau-Poroi.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Because they're Gauls and Thracians in a regiment. Yeah. Claudio Argos. The chosen swordsman. The Galatians got like a visual touch up around this time.
Yeah?
To give them more Greek and Eastern influences on their equipment. Because they would have been influenced by a lot of that stuff. They would have been fairly Hellenized. Because they were surrounded by Greeks. Yeah. So it looks like we lost a unit. I wonder if it was probably our chariots. Unfortunately we can't see because the UI bugged out again.
Bugger.
Your next command. Advance.
Yeah, it was the Chariots who lost.
Still, it was a decisive victory.
Of course. So now we're auto-resolving. Mosi Noikoi. Yeah, Mosi Noikoi is the faction.
Mosanoikoi.
And subjugate them. So they become a satrapy.
Ah, there's that balancing act that's so important.
And I decided I wanted to recruit their Pontic Terreo swords. Just because I felt like it. I wanted a bit more variety. Probably not
Your
much.
diversity and variety is the all-important factor to keep in mind these days.
Just for fun.
Without because without diversity, where are we? We're just one.
How very profound. So let's have a look at what cavalry I can recruit. For other troops. So I decided to just spam away Terreo spears so I could recruit another Galatian spears. I also think I recruit some Cappadocian lancers.
The names of some of these soldiers, like the Brothers of Xenophon, are they like randomly generated by the game, or were they
Yeah.
like actual?
They're randomly generated by the game.
None of these were like actually based in any well-known armies or anything like that.
The thing is, I don't believe, anyways, that the Greeks, states, and all these sorts had like specific army nomenclature, or at least I don't think it's known if there was. Maybe they did, but I don't think it's known. Because it's not.
There's no
normally
definitive
passed.
proof or anything.
No definitive proof one way or another. With the Romans, we know that they had like this legion, that legion, the 10th legion, the 3rd, etc. That was certainly the thing the Romans did. But
Not necessarily the Seleucids.
the Seleucids, can't say. No, as far as I'm aware, there's no mentions. It's just an army led by such and such.
At your command.
You know.
Okay then.
So these are just kind of made up names that sound like they could work. You know, the might of Heracles, because who doesn't want to emulate Heracles, the demigod?
Sure, who wouldn't?
That's the thing. The brothers of Xenophon. Well, I don't know how much they would have respected, revered Xenophon, but he did write, I believe, a treatise on cavalry warfare. And he, you know, he was also one of the major historians for things like the Peloponnesian War, the latter stages of it, after Thucydides just stopped writing about it. Probably because he died.
Suppose that makes sense.
So, that's all I know. I don't know whether in the Hellenistic period Xenophon would have been particularly revered, but all I know is he was significant enough, at least for us, because he wrote some significant works, like the Hellenica, the Anabasis, and treatises and things like cavalry warfare, as I've said. But yeah.
Do we end our turn? Yes, we do decide to
In
end our turn.
honor, I come bearing
Paphlagonia
gifts.
One Piece.
And why do you move away in such a fashion?
I'd like to go with a offer or demands of. Oh, we decide to make a payment instead.
Yeah, the thing is, if I pay them to become my satrapy is the idea. But they're not budging.
They take it. Ugh.
The odds are low, that usually means they're pretty much not going to take it.
Greedy bastards.
You know? Basically, the way the diplomacy works, it's very simple. If the odds are low, they're pretty much never going to accept a deal. If the odds are high, they pretty much will accept it. If the odds are medium, They may or may not accept it.
Whatever.
That's just the bait. It's a very bare bones system. Three Kingdoms would have a much better diplomacy feature. And Warhammer 3 is probably a bit better also, because it sort of took notes from Three Kingdoms. You could actually negotiate to some extent better. You can see what it takes to just kind of nudge the AI over to a particular side.
I mean, like, it's more of a... It's kind of a small tweak, don't you think?
So much better than what we have here.
At your command. None will escape.
We march towards Amalea.
Let them cower like kennel dogs.
At least I think that's how I'm pronouncing it right.
Amasea.
Amasea, okay.
Amasea.
And we move up towards Sinope.
Yeah, Sinope.
Sinope. I was close enough. You gotta give me that at least.
Oh, yeah. So now fight this one. And yeah, we have a bit of a little glitch there. Don't think I saw that when I was recording, so it might just be a recording glitch or something. But yeah, yeah, it's still there.
I'm sure that we will find.
Can't be helped. Anyway, what's going on down here?
We are attacking Amasea with our army. So we are advancing with our Galatian spears in the flanks, with our Galatian swords. We have our Marian guildsmen. Got cavalry here. Tarantines, and I think the Gama. Our elephants. Our Syrian elephants.
Yes, Syrian elephants. Marching pretty slowly. Slowly but surely.
Of course, you don't want to exhaust your men. Up against an Armenian garrison.
Really, how do men behave? Do they just stand around doing nothing and wait patiently for their deaths, not taking up arms whatsoever?
Well, they're running.
Yeah, look, bought. About time you got your arses in gear.
Yeah. So let's see what happens, eh?
Well, if it takes them that long to get ready for a battle, I sincerely doubt there'll be much of an
Do you
issue.
realise though that battles in real life took hours?
No, I know they probably took hours.
And a lot of it was just moving around, preparing, you know,
Oh, here we go. Javelins away.
and skirmishing. Seldom would they've just been full on onslaughts. But the enemy decided to charge into our pikes.
Not the best idea,
No.
but to each his own.
So our phalanx is holding them off. Our spears are also.
You can try all you like, guys. You're not going to make a dent.
Our melee troops are also fighting and moving around. Our Gauls are holding the enemy in place there, whilst we're moving our Marians. Hoping to have them do a rear flank charge, because that's what they excel at, because they're two-handed weapons.
Well, we have some of our forces up further along the hill, making a move. Oh. This our cavalry?
That's their Armenian cavalry.
That's the Armenian cavalry. I was close enough.
And our Tarentines move in.
Making a good bit of progress there. The Armenian cavalry is spreading out a little bit. Oh, they're a lot more spread out than I anticipated.
Yeah. Even fighting some regulations.
Our phalanx formation is still holding pretty strong.
Of course. It's like bronze and silver shields holding the enemy off. And then it's beginning to rout.
Well,
There's
there's
accretions.
the hills. They're losing the will to continue on.
Yeah, these are usually these are like cheapish, low-tier garrison troops fighting my army. Obviously not going to exactly do super well.
The ones that come up against us, they always seem to be very underprivileged or not very up to task, if I do say so myself.
Well, see, garrison troops are separate from your actual faction roster troops. They're usually not as strong. And also, sometimes when fighting actual armies, the AI, as I've said before, the AI doesn't really change its armies up. So, if it can still have, even in turn 100, it can still have a lot of turn 1 units in its army. They haven't been killed off or replaced.
Doesn't seem very smart to keep them like that just because they haven't been killed off yet.
The AI doesn't know how to replace and disband armies.
Okay then.
So a lot of it's just the game design is so faulty. So the AI doesn't know how to do that.
I suppose not.
That's why, for example, the AI, that's why it can't retrain units for reforms. It keeps the same pre-reform units and it just recruits the new ones when it needs to.
Bit outdated there, if I say so myself.
That's just round 2 for you. A lot of problems in fundamental game design. DEI can't fix all of that.
I suppose not. Stay there in the routing. Stay we're in the routing phase now.
Oh yeah, we are. So we're chasing them down. Having our Marians, letting our Marians have a go at them. Yeah, those are pretty solid shock troops.
I bet they are.
Yeah, I've used them for Maria, even. Maria has like 3 different kinds of two-handed shock infantry.
Yeah?
Axemen, with like no armor and large two-handed axes. The guildsmen with a bit of armor, small little shields, and those two-handed swords. And the elite macemen, bit of armor, no shields, large two-handed maces. So they're pretty solid. Kind of like the Idrisians, and they kind of on par with the Idrisians in terms of the number of shock troops they have.
I see.
The Idrisians, however, on Fire Warriors, the later on Fire Warriors, and the Noble on Fire Warriors. Of course, the latter is a General's Bodyguard unit exclusively. Nowadays, it used to be. But yeah, that's the battle over and the end of this part.
Well, like always, until next time, be safe. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We will see you all very soon.
Indeed, thanks for watching.